Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back at home, so I don't have the best background, but this is what we're working with. So my name is Logan, if you guys have never been here before, and if you have seen my channel before, you all know that I love doing pop culture videos and videos on movies and TV shows and fandoms and music and all of that fun stuff, along with my lifestyle content. So I'm very excited today to be doing an Outer Banks themed video. So if you guys are Outer Banks fans, you know that season 2 is premiering this Friday, which is very, very exciting. I watched season 1 a little bit after the hype over quarantine. I think I probably watched it in like May, and I think it was really, really popular right when it first dropped in April and March. But I watched it late May, I think, sometime in May, I don't really know. But I watched it all in one day. I was obsessed with it, and I'm sure I will watch this year's all in one day as well. But I wanted to make a Outer Banks season 2 predictions video because I think it's super fun, and I think this season can take a lot of different directions. So the Outer Banks Instagram account has been releasing a few different scenes for us. So they did release a scene revealing how JJ, Kiara, and Pope find out that John B and Sarah are potentially alive, which is super cool. And they also released another scene where some kooks are discussing rumors about John B, and like JJ kind of goes off on them, and Topper's also there. And the trailer also gave us a lot of insights into season 2, and that's pretty much what I have built my predictions off of. So all of the information that Outer Banks, like as a whole, like as a cast and a crew and a like production is the word I'm looking for, and a production has given us. So the first one is, I really think that there is a huge reunion scene that's like super sappy, where the gang finds out that John B and Sarah are alive. So we already know that they find out through electronic communication that they are potentially alive from the scene that they posted on the Instagram. But from stills that I've seen, and if I can find those stills I will put them here, I definitely think that there's some sort of like big sappy emotional reunion scene that will probably make me cry, because I'm far too invested in this show. I love this show so much. I think it's such a good vibe, and I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it. I think part of it is because it really got me through like some parts of quarantine, but yeah, I think there's a sappy emotional reunion scene, and I feel like that's very apparent that that's going to happen. Okay, so what's going to happen with Ward and Rafe? These are my predictions. I think that this is kind of where the show could take multiple turns, and I think the trailer has changed my opinions on this a little bit. But I think at the beginning Ward will be fine, because I think from what the trailer has showed us, they're still on the search for John B and Sarah, and it's generally kind of believed that John B was the person who shot Peterkin. So I think Ward will be fine, and as the season unravels, we will find out that Ward had a bigger play in all of this. And I do think that Rafe will end up being fine. I think that Ward will take the blame for him, unfortunately, even though he's a murderer. I do think that Ward will step up as the father and take the blame for Rafe, and Rafe will get off probably scot-free. I would not be surprised. Hate Rafe, love Drew Starkey, but I think that's probably how it's gonna go. Kind of excited to see how that all plays out, and if like Rafe or Ward will have any character development at all. Kind of curious, because I think Topper is definitely going to have some character development. Like, I already see that brewing from the scenes in the trailer. But we'll see. Okay, so this is something that I have thought since the last episode of season 1. Like, I was like, there's just no way that Peterkin is dead. Like, I don't think that Peterkin is dead. I really don't. I think that we're supposed to believe that she is dead, but we never get confirmation as an audience if she's dead or not. Like, she was just in critical condition, brought to the hospital, and we just assume that she's dead. But I don't think she is. I think she's not dead, and she's gonna come back for blood, and that's how Ward and Rafe are gonna be revealed as awful people. Because the cops are already sort of on to Ward a little bit. They know nothing about Rafe, but they're on to Ward a little bit already. And I think I don't know what his name is, I call him the One Tree Hill cop because he's from One Tree Hill. I think that he is going to be the one that like gets revenge for Peterkin, if that makes sense. This next one, I don't know what to think. So there's a scene in the trailer where Kiara looks like she's hugging JJ and like crying. I can't really tell. It's literally like a 0.5 second clip, literally. It's so quick. But I think, and I don't want to think this, and I don't want this to be the case, but I think that like JJ gets hurt, or like something bad happens to JJ that causes Kiara to be like that emotional about it, because it looks very intense and that scares me. But I do think that something happens to JJ. Also, I definitely think, I think that this is apparent. It's not even really a prediction. It's just a fact at this point. There's going to be some sort of love triangle tension between Pope, Kiara, and JJ. I feel like there's so much to unpack in those three's relationships with each other. I'm still like kind of taken back by the fact that she kissed Pope at the end of season 1. Like, I'm just really confused by that writer's decision. Maybe JJ and Kiara are going to be a slow burn, I don't know, but I think that there's going to be a lot of drama brewing, and I love some love triangle drama. Okay, the next thing on my notes I've kind of already touched on, but I definitely think Topper has a redemption arc. I thought this before the trailer and like the scenes were released, but since the trailer and the scenes were released, I think it's very, very apparent that Topper is going to have a redemption arc and end up like siding with the Pogues and helping them like be free or whatever because of Topper's position in society as a kook. I think he will help the truth kind of come to light a little bit. And he kind of sort of had a redemption arc at the end of season 1 a little bit, when he came out of the fire dressed as Jambi to allow Jambi and Sarah to escape. So I definitely think that something is going to go down with Topper, and he's going to end up being like one of the main Pogues, kind of, as like if a season 3 continues. I could see that kind of being the path. Okay, the next thing I put is Pope get scholarship. So, in season 1, I feel like it's very obvious that Pope does not get the scholarship. But I also feel like Pope deserves the scholarship, right? I think Pope deserves to get that scholarship. He worked really, really hard for it, and I think somehow he's going to get it. I hope. I hope that somehow, like, whether it's the fact that he's helping the police solve the case, or like the trauma he's been through or whatever, I think that he will end up getting the scholarship. I hope anyway, because I feel like that's a big part of his character and his character's plot line, and I just hope that happens for him. So we already kind of know from the trailer that Jambi and Sarah are on the run in the Bahamas from the Bahamas police force, or I guess the Nassau police force. So I definitely think that Jambi and Sarah don't get let off by the Nassau police force. I think they escape somehow and return back to oh my gosh, to the Outer Banks. My god, to Outer Banks when they think it's safe, according to JJ and Kiara. Like, I think something brews over the Outer Banks where Sarah and Jambi can safely return per JJ, Kiara, and Pope's recommendation through the electronic communication that they have going, right? I don't think that they get off, though, in Nassau, even though they didn't do anything wrong. But I definitely think that he's, like, still wanted, and they try to escape. I just think that that's, like, a good plot, and, like, makes it, like, action-y. And I know that I'm pretty sure that there's only a few episodes that take place in the Bahamas, so them escaping would be a quicker plot point than them, like, unraveling it and, like, getting off from the Nassau police force, if that makes sense. So there are 3 things that I'm curious about, or 3 main things that I'm curious about in season 2, and kind of excited to see how they unravel. So the first one is what happens with the gold. So we know that the gold is in the Bahamas, but does Ward get the gold? Does Ward send Rafe to get the gold? What, like, do Jambi and Sarah end up finding it? Is it in the possession of the Nassau police? Like, I'm really curious whose hands the gold gets into. I hope it's the kids in the end, because they literally found it, but we shall see. Also, if there is a season 3, which I don't think it's been confirmed yet or even like really talked about, but if there is a season 3, what is season 2's cliffhanger gonna be? Because I literally have no idea what the season 2 cliffhanger could be, because I think that this season we will find out, like, the gold. I think Jambi and Sarah will, like, be fine. I guess it could be something dealing with Rafe and Ward and, like, if they go to jail or not, but I also feel like that's not big enough a setup for season 3, so I'm, like, curious if there is a season 3, what will we be left on, because we were left on a huge cliffhanger for season 1, so we shall see. editing Logan here, but I also forgot to mention that there are some new characters, and I'm kind of curious to see how these new characters play into the role of like the dynamic already. Like, are they going to be new characters on the Outer Banks, or are they new characters in the Bahamas? I'm excited. I'm so excited. The last thing is, will Rafe and Ward get what they deserve? I surely hope so. I surely hope so, because they are literally awful. So these are my Outer Banks season 2 predictions, and I'm very excited to see how right these are or how wrong I am and where the season goes. I'm very excited, and woogity woogity. Okay, bye.